Did you know that while most people have a lot of weight to lose to get into the healthy range, weight loss typically plateaus between 7 and 10% of your total body weight. So basically, if you're a 200-pound person with a lot of weight to lose, you will usually hit a plateau before you lose 15 to 20 pounds. Hey everyone, it's me, Chris, from Body Nova Fitness Coaching, and today we're going to talk about breaking weight loss plateaus, because the scenario here, and this is a common scenario, you get on a fitness program, you start off, you're training hard, you're trying to eat better, and then you start losing weight. Then all of a sudden, that stops. Okay, we're going to talk about why that happens and a few ways that you can overcome these weight loss plateaus. Okay, part of the reason why we hit weight loss plateaus, our weight loss plateaus, is because the body, it doesn't care about how you look in a bathing suit. It doesn't care if you have to buy bigger clothes or anything like that. It cares about your survival. So it's a instinct that what it tries to do when you try to eat less, it believes it's starving. Or when you try to exercise a whole lot and not feed the amount of exercise that you're doing, it believes you're starving. Okay, so what it does, it has a series of things that it does to make sure that you stay in what they call a homeostasis. Or basically, homeostasis is you sitting, like I'm sitting right here and I'm chilling here, just relaxing and not doing any movement. Okay, so I conserve energy, so I can have extra energy available in case there's a famine where I really have to starve myself. Okay, so I have the stored energy to use to get me through that famine. It doesn't care about some of the trivial things that we care about. So it's wired for that. So it does things to make sure that you hold on to that tissue. And one of those things would be, it will kick up hormones that make you want to eat more, ramp down hormones that say I'm full or I'm content. Okay, so if you feel the need to eat more, you're more likely to eat more and break the calorie deficit that you have that's creating your weight loss. Another thing that it does is it will slow down the rate at which you burn calories. And you see this a lot, especially in people who have really large calorie deficits, because again, your body perceives that as starving. And remember, those calorie deficits can also be fueled by you over exercising, like trying to do more and more exercise. If you don't have the food to meet that demand, the body perceives that as starving also. So it may slow down the rate at which you burn calories, and that's not just during exercise, during all kinds of activities, or even sacrifice some of your muscle tissue, which slows down the rate at which you burn calories, so that you will not lose weight. You'll have that tissue available to get through the famine. Another thing that it will also do, it will make you less likely to want to exercise or less likely to move. So they have something they call NEAT, which is your non-exercise energy activity. So that could be getting up, vacuuming, washing dishes, taking the dog for a walk and stuff like that. So it can also make you feel like you don't want to move, like you're really tired, so you need to sit down or lay down more. Okay, so what that does is that's less calories burned outside of your exercise. So it makes it harder to create a calorie deficit when you're less active, when of course moving around, even stuff like folding laundry, stuff like that, all those neat activities, if you're moving less, you're burning less calories. So that kind of preserves or makes sure that you don't keep losing weight. The reason is, as you're on your calorie, you created your calorie deficit, is as you lose weight, your body just naturally burns more calories because it has less tissue to deal with, to feed nutrients. Okay, so you burn less calories, especially with those people who just think about weight and not trying to hold on to muscle. Okay, if you lose muscle, your basal metabolic rate, or the rate at which you burn calories, drops. Okay, so that's why it's a big deal to at least preserve the muscle that you have, and if not, during some phase of your program, you try to build muscle so that you can increase the amount of calories that you burn and keep the weight off once. Okay, so here's some strategies that you can use to help you get over that, break that weight loss plateau. Okay, and let's start with the obvious one. You can make a diet adjustment. Okay, so this would be the classic example would be someone who, let's say they maintain on 3,000 calories and they cut down to 2,500 calories. If you cut down and you're losing weight, you plateau, then all of a sudden it plateaus and you stop, right? So if you haven't cut calories too hard in the beginning, this is why I set things up where I would create a deficit, or a small, not the largest deficit that I can possibly create one in the middle, so that when it plateaus, I have a card that I can play to help keep things rolling. Okay, so you get to that point, 2,500 is no more losing weight. Then you could drop to 2,250 or 2,000. Okay, so you can cut calories. Now, the flip side to this is you can also do exercise more. Okay, because remember, calorie deficit is made in two ways. You can always exercise more or eat less. You don't always have to do both. So I can look at the amount of work that I'm doing and look for any opportunity to do more. So a lot of people, they try to cardio their weight loss to death, and then that's fine to a degree. But some of the other things you can do is you can switch from long, slow, continuous cardio and do more HIIT. So you burn more calories per minute spent of your cardio exercise. Even if let's say you did cardio for 30 minutes and you said, okay, 20 minutes, I'm going to switch and I'm going to do some HIIT exercise. Okay, you do that HIIT and you do that HIIT for 20 minutes and you start losing weight again. Then you can try to make your intervals more dense. So for example of that would be me saying, okay, do a 30-second sprint after 2 minutes of going easy, nice, slow cardio. Now, then I can also say, okay, now do that every minute and a half instead of 2 minutes. So in 20 minutes, I'm going to get 10 intervals instead of 7, or 10 sprints instead of 7. I burn more calories. If you push that hard enough, you burn more calories all day long, up to 24 hours after your workout. Actually, it's up to 48, but 48 hours after your workout. Okay, making them more dense. If you're doing things like sled pushing or bike, elliptical, something where it's able, you can always perform the same sprint interval against more resistance. Okay, put more weight on the sled, turn up the resistance from with your workouts. With your resistance training workouts, you can always perform more volume or more work. So, for example, most people have their workouts to do in 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 12, 15, whatever it is, right? So just doing 4 sets is more work and more volume. And if you line up the sets and how many reps you perform with the weights, you will see if you just add 1 set, okay, that you would have lifted substantially more weight or performed substantially more work. Okay, if you perform more work, you burn more calories. Okay, so if you burn more calories, you're much more likely to continue your weight loss going. Another thing that I do is supersets, trisets, giant sets, drop sets. These are all different types of what we call extended sets. Okay, we make the sets longer, but then also by making them longer, you do more work. So a program made popular by Charles Poliquin, I've used it many times over the past 20 years, 6, 12, 25. So you take one exercise, you're doing 4 to 6 reps. Sometimes I change that to 6 to 8, but you do 4 to 6 reps, moving right on into the second exercise with only enough time to get there, maybe 15 seconds, 8 to 12 reps, or 10 to 12 reps of that second exercise, and then the last exercise of the tri-set, 16 to 25 reps. Okay, so if you go 6 plus 10 or 5 plus 10 plus 25, that's 40 reps. Okay, so if you're doing 3 sets of that, that's 120 reps. Just that part of your workout is 120 steps for one body part, one set of one body part. So you can very easily get a whole lot of volume in your workouts. Okay, that would help your fat loss, because it's a whole lot of work that in a very little bit of time. That's something to keep in mind. The supersets, the trisets, getting all that work in, and high volume work burns more calories. And then also, they also find in situations like that you produce more fat burning hormones, and you also get your metabolism to stay elevated or burn more calories for up to 36 hours. So it doesn't just have to be a longer workout. You can just use the same amount of time and just cram more work into it by performing supersets and drop sets, trisets, different types of extended set workouts. Okay. Another thing that you want to prioritize is different lifestyle factors. So the number one offender is sleep. So if you have large calorie deficits over time, in order for you to lose the weight, you have to have stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline come in, and they make you release fat. But those hormones also keep your nervous system amped up. So it's going to be harder for you to get to sleep at night in some cases, especially like some people are trying to use fat burners or pre-workouts that stimulate stimulate your nervous system. Okay. Those kind of jack your nervous system up. And if you stay jacked up, it's going to be harder to sleep or harder to get quality sleep. Okay. The single most important thing that you can do to improve your fitness is to get high quality sleep. They found with shift workers that with poor sleep habits that have poor sleep habits because they're sleeping during the day, they have a higher incidence of diabetes and insulin resistance. They're more likely to be overweight or obese, have low testosterone levels, so sleep affects everything. So you want to make sure that you're getting quality sleep through this process. And that sometimes you may have to take, like if you're deficient in magnesium, that will affect your sleep. So you want to make sure that you're taking care to get enough sleep in so that your body has what it needs to grow muscles and drop body fat or produce hormones like growth hormone. Your largest growth hormone spike is within 4 hours of your sleep. Okay, there's not another one larger in the day, and unless you just straight take growth hormone, there's no other way to get one that big. Okay, it's released into your deep sleep, your REM deep sleep. Okay, make sure that you get enough sleep. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep, or take care to get enough sleep to to break your plateaus. Another thing that goes with your sleep is managing your stress levels. Okay, a lot of us have stressful jobs, stressful jobs or stressful lifestyles and things like that. Getting bad sleep only compounds that, because your stress hormones ramp up because you don't get enough sleep. And then because your stress hormones are ramping up, then you're not going to get enough sleep. Okay, so you want to manage your stress levels. One of the ways I would do that is after your workout, because you got to, of course, have, those hormones raging to get you to have great high quality workouts. Okay. One of the ways that I would fix that is at the end of your workout, you could stretch right after your workout. Take 5 to 10 minutes to stretch. You could use any type of massage device. Some gyms, they have massage chairs and saunas and steam rooms. Okay, that could be another way that you can lower your stress, get your body to turn off that switch that says fight or flight, and turn on the switch that says, hey, get some rest, cool down, chill out. I like the simplest for me is I like guided meditation or guided breathing. It's not really meditation, guided breathing, where in some cases you can just look at a little dot on the screen. Calm has one, and you can do it with no time period. But Headspace is another app that has one, but they kind of talk you through it. Actually, they have different ones on Headspace too. Either one of those apps are very well, and you're just simply watching something small. A circle gets smaller and bigger, and you're inhaling as the circle gets bigger, and you exhaling as the circle shrinks, and you just follow that rhythm, and that calms down your nervous system. So you can, so it will allow you to get better sleep. So a lot of these habits are helping you sleep. Managing that stress helps you manage your sleep. Did you know that 80% of the people trying to lose weight experience a plateau? Use these tips to avoid letting that derail your progress. You can add more HIIT to your workout versus long, slow, continuous cardio. And you don't have to make it the whole workout. You can take a portion of the workout, add more HIIT in, and you can also make those HIIT workouts more dense by either shortening the rest period and or performing longer intervals. But you can also increase the resistance during those intervals, so you have to expend more calories to go that. If you're not tracking your calories and your macros, especially your protein intake and your calories, you should start, okay? This is one of the most common mistakes that people make because they have no idea where they're at. So when that plateau comes, and it's coming because the body's trying to protect itself, remember, you have no way of being able to fix it but to get organized, okay? Make sure you're taking care of certain lifestyle factors, like you got to manage your stress. You know, if you don't manage your stress, it's going to affect your sleep. And if you don't manage your sleep well, it's going to come and get you in multiple ways. It can slow down the rate which you burning calories. It could mess with your ability to get nutrients, namely carbohydrates, to the right place so you can use them to fuel your great workouts. You know, it can make your stress hormones rise, which makes your testosterone drop. So you want to manage your stress and manage your sleep so that you can continue not let that derail your weight loss efforts. Okay, you get that under control, much easier to lose weight. Workouts. You remember 2 ways to fix a calorie deficit. To create a calorie deficit. You can exercise more or you can eat less. So you can perform more exercise or perform more workout volume. You can increase the intensity of your workouts. If you're doing cardio, you can introduce HIIT or take a portion of your cardio and add more HIIT to your workout. You can reduce your calorie intake by a small percentage. Okay, so again, if you have a 3,000 calorie diet, 3,000 calories to maintain your weight, and you're having 2,500 calories for your weight loss, when that plateaus, you can take a small percentage, and it doesn't always have to be 500 pounds. You can cut that down to 250 or 2,250 calories, and that will create a new deficit, and you ride that deficit until you lose weight again. Okay, as you start losing weight again, because you've created a larger calorie deficit. You don't always have to increase your increase your activity or increase your exercise and lower weight. Pick one and run with it. Now, last but definitely not least, I didn't mention this earlier, but you can incorporate a body recomp phase, whereas you bring yourself back closer to maintenance calories and redistribute your macros. I usually increase the protein intake at that time and change your workouts to have you build muscle for a short period of time. And then when it's time for you to get back to your fat loss, after a month, maybe 2 months, you just take a little bit of calories off of that new calorie intake. So if I went from, let's say I lowered my calories from 3,000 all the way down to 2,000, of course, losing weight, and I hit that plateau. Time to build muscle, time to do a body recomp phase. I would set that phase. I'd probably bring my calories somewhat closer to 23 or 2,500, have a higher protein intake. In other recomp videos, I explained this, how I raise the protein intake, but you could raise your protein intake, fill out those calories, and then change my lifting that complements my muscle building. So if I'm always doing high rep, short rest work, I might use lower rep, heavier work, and maybe increase time under tension or something like that, to where that makes me build muscle. Then as I start to lose weight again, because that 2,500 will be my maintenance again, I will take a small deficit off of that. It could be 10% to 2,250, or maybe even back to 2,000, something like that, to where I can start losing weight again, because now I have more muscle, which makes me burn more calories. Okay, so those are things that you can do to help you break that weight loss plateau. And if you need me to go into any more detail in any one of these, leave me a comment below.